Okay. So my computer hard crashed. Yeah. Turns out, attempting to run a video editing software at the same time as you stream to multiple different platforms is a terrible idea. So, yeah. I will just be streaming to YouTube from now on. To the shock and awe of literally no one. Thank you, Salt. Try not to crash whilst editing him. Challenge impossible, yeah. Yeah. Oh, well, here we are. My chair is too far back. There we are. Well, we're back. I'll be getting the Blanchard music back up. Okay. Dead run Chapter 5 without direct damage stream would be funny, I didn't, so, okay, the reason why I stopped doing Twitch just then was because I was attempting to live stream to both Twitch and YouTube, and it turns out, whilst you're trying to use a video editing software, that's a terrible idea. Thanks to become utter suffering. So we'll see if this runs smoother. If not, I might just have to stream something else. But we'll see. Hopefully not, but, you know. I can already tell it's laggier than it usually is. I'm hoping that's not portents of what's to come. Do I not actually have the stream? Thanks to the complete and total lack of damage we have available to us. But hey, it can't be that bad. Huh, hold on. Like, well, that's just sad. There's Yan. There's Arcorp. There's a hour and 42 minutes during which we do not kill. Oh no, we do. Strange. Kind of feels like Tempting Fate stream crashes. Yeah. It was ironic. It was most certainly ironic. I knew it was a bad idea from the way the stream was lagging before, but yeah, that's all he knows. Fate decided to laugh at me there. Well, yes, anyone have any questions? Because, I mean, otherwise it'll just be me rambling to myself, and that's an interesting stream, but I doubt it's a stream anyone really wants to watch. Come try me to distort ASMR? No, I'm fine, thank you. My computer dying is enough of that already. Why is it telling me the audio stream's current bitrate? Can you guys actually hear me? Computer dying is enough of that already. Yeah, no, you can. I don't know what it's talking about. What's my current hyperfixation? I mean, like, academically it's always been biomed. That remains my hyperfixation. But otherwise, what I've been doing a lot of currently, I've become utter suffering thanks to the complete and total lack of damage. I'm honestly not sure. Because, like, I've been playing a lot of an idle game recently, but I do really need to get back into, like, Divine Journey. Divine Journey 2 specifically is a mod pack I really need to get back into. Otherwise, what else have we been working on? I don't know. 17 people are now watching me edit a video, which is incredible, frankly. It's also kind of sad that this is more than, like, some of my variety streams get. More people care about me seeing me edit a video than they do play a video game, which is kind of sad. Suffering But, you know, what can you do about it? Suffering, utter suffering, thanks to the complete and total lack of damage we have available to us. But hey, it can't be. Put this here. You can also reset fusion composition as a way to do that quicker. To us. But yeah, I can't move my hardware. The one camera I have, this one is like basically permanently plugged in. This mic is a not a freestanding mic. It's got its own boom arm, so wouldn't be able to. Rails are more free today, maybe. Yeah.
Hey,
I am
it can't be
kind
that
of
bad, right?
Like,
I mean, sure,
scared
we
at the
have
moment
damage again, but
with the fact
surely
that
we don't need to get
viewership is
through
going
that
down,
much HP.
which
210.
which makes sense because obviously I haven't been streaming Ruina, but I don't want to get stuck in Ruina forever.
210.
You know, that's the last thing I want to do. I would prefer to be able to stream what I like and have people watch, you know? Which I suppose that's oh no, streamer wants to be successful? Shock horror, but I don't know, what do I do when I run out of challenge ideas? Does that look fine, or would it look better? It probably looks better the other way around. Could do a red. Let's do a red. Stream what you like regularly? Yeah, I suppose. Hard cover
Through that much HP. 210.
Yeah, there we are. We need to get through 210 HP, whilst our only possible damage is 3 true damage. Possible damage. We need to get through 210 HP, whilst our only possible damage is 3 true damage, or effectively just 2 damage for its offensive dice Olivier chooses to use. This might be making it seem... The Blatchery music might be making it seem overly loud, so let me just quickly... I didn't mean to open that fusion, but there we are. It's amazing how much more computer resources you get back when you're only streaming
Olivier
to one
chooses
platform.
to use. This fight is miserable, and I'm not even done explaining the bad parts just yet. Because we can't...
I'm gonna then have a cut to make it seem like there's more stuff going on. Deltarune will pop off, probably. I should do a Deltarune challenge. Doing a Deltarune challenge seems like the smartest possible thing I could do. I guess I'll get that done after this video. I have a few other challenges to do, but I'll do that after this video. Deltarune solo seems like a fun idea to try out. Since all our friends and through mitosis, your viewership is bound to grow. That would be cool. I'd like that. Okay, I have to say, 21 people watching me edit this. I'm not complaining, but also, in Stars and Time in Stars and Time streams get 13. I don't get it. I don't get it. What's so much more engaging about listening to me ramble whilst editing compared to an actual game? No direct damage Undertale. Yeah, that would... Well, no, actually, it would fall apart at Asgore. And... Do you need to fight Asriel? No, you don't need to fight Asriel, but it would fall apart at Asgore. No damage, no direct damage dealt, solo Library of Ruina. Maybe they avoid spoilers from Stars in Time? Yeah, it could be. You don't need to fight Asgore and True Pacifist, but from a fresh save file, you need to fight Asgore.
Because we can't...
Because otherwise you wouldn't get the invitation to the True Lab.
Olivia actually scales better than us. Normally you won't run into this in a normal playthrough, what with Olivia dying quite quickly, but here, we can't even remotely kill him quickly enough. Meaning that he will scale to the point where, statistically, we should lose every clash. This is an entirely RNG-based fight, and is one of the worst experiences I faced in this challenge, hands down. Eventually we decided to give in, and I'm gonna have a cut there. What do I tell you? Plays a yellow child.
You're suggesting Undertale Yellow. I would like to get into speech. Don't mind the whole... This is biomedical engineering. Honestly, I wouldn't mind turning my hand to speedrunning some games. Because that seems like it would be interesting to do.
Is the belief that evolution...
Are there any games people think would be interesting to watch me speedrun, or... Unskippable livestream title? Thank you, thank you. I was pretty happy with that. Originally, I was going to edit it to have Malchus Floor in the background of the Lo-Fi Girl thing, but that would have taken too long. I probably would have only been able to start streaming now. It would have been a nightmare to edit. Because like the few speedruns I want to try out are like... I could do games that I'm decently good at. I know, actually, Fox's just recently sent me this. So Fox has sent this. Which is the entire speedrun route for Ruina. The entire thing. So yeah. I could try that out if I wanted to. Because they recently got second place. So, yeah. Oh, can I have that? I could ask them if it'd be alright to share it with you. Because they just said, I honestly wonder, I just checked my DMs, I was like, oh wow, that's the entire Ruina speedrun route. Wackle speedrun could be good? Yeah, I don't think, it'd be cool to try, but I don't think I'm anywhere near good enough at Wackle. I guess that's the point of speedrunning, isn't it? Speedrunning Roblox games. I just need to do what Easy Speezy does and just speedrun everything.
Color is just a relative way we perceive light.
I was worried for where that was going in the middle of the the Olivia fight. Jesus. Coops, no. No. Anyway, it's like I don't remember making a joke like that. I wouldn't make a joke like that. No. Speedrunning archive without XP tickets? Miserable idea. I would not want to do that. Hands down. Eventually we decided to give in and simply use Maxman to kill him. Although I do know that a few of the people who were mad enough to attempt this challenge... That's you, Sherry. Alongside me did pull it off without it. I determined it really wasn't... attempt this challenge alongside me did pull it off without it. I need to get the full... Although I do know that a few of the people who were mad enough to attempt this challenge alongside me did pull it off without it. I determined it really wasn't worth my time to attempt though, so all power to you if you want to join them. But do you know what the funniest thing about this fight is? Even with Maxman and A... I want more of his clashing now. This. Sort of the point where I go, you know, even if you use Maxman, he's still able to outclash you because he's a fucking monster. There we are. That's the point where I start doing max damage. There. Honestly, Archived is pretty fun. The only problem is, like, no XP tickets just seems like finding the fastest contract, which I'm afraid is going to be like Doc's delivery, and just repeating that indefinitely. Or it might be Refraction Railway. Just go for Fixer XP. I'm honestly not sure what the fastest route that would be. Speedrun getting jumped in Archived permadeath. Like 5 damage at most during my Maxman run. Interesting. Want to join them. Making onto your contents is genius and really funny. Thank you if you want to join them. But do you know what the funniest thing about this fight is? Even with Maxman enabled, Olivia can still outroll us. I cannot express the sheer terror I had seeing this for the first time, that even whilst always rolling our maximum and Olivia always rolling his minimum, he still stands a chance at winning clashes against us. Eventually though, we did manage to pull his fight. Oh, whoops, that means I need the ending later. Let me... If I just remove... Hold on, I can copy that clip, and then we can just put that later so we can actually have the ending. Because then the way I'm speaking is, oh, I need to hide the ending.
hands down. Eventually we decided to give in and simply use Maximum to kill him, although I do know that a few of the people who were mad enough to attempt this challenge alongside me did pull it off without it. I determined it really wasn't worth my time to attempt though, so all power to you if you want to join them. But do you know what the funniest thing about this fight is? Even with Maximum enabled, Olivier can still outroll us. I cannot express the sheer terror I had seeing this for the first time, that even whilst always rolling our maximum and Olivier always rolling his minimum, he still stands a chance at winning clashes against us. Eventually though, we did manage to pull this fight off. Okay, that's where I need to make a cut. Other things I've been thinking about, like Minecraft speedrunning. I've watched a lot of Minecraft speedrunning. I think it would be interesting to give it a try. How many people here are interested in Minecraft speedrunning? I love seeing obscure indie games played. Yeah, I do too. I love playing them, honestly. I think they're interesting. Hold on. Something I've been meaning... So, I watched a video recently, which is like... I think it was called A Video About Fishing and Nothing Else. History. Yeah, a video about fishing and nothing else. Which has put me, like, in the mindset of I really want to do a video essay now, but I'm honestly not sure if I'll get around to it again. As in, like, I will eventually, but I'm not sure for the time, but... Minecraft speedrunning to me was interesting like a year ago, but nowadays it's so incomprehensible. I'm curious what you mean by that. It's like Minecraft speedruns sound fun as fuck though, you need something to spice it up. Yeah. Eventually though, we did manage to pull this fight off. With Olivier taken out, we are now at the gates of no return when it comes to the main storyline. At any time, we can... Okay, do I have... Did I click on it this time? Or did I... No, I just ended the stream. Let me not carry that on then, because normally I click on the thing and go, oh wow, but no. At any time, we could take the final plunge into the ensemble and begin the process of finishing the game off. But we can't take that plunge just yet. There are still 3 falls left. Okay, and then I'll cut to Shased here, because I think you'll make good video essays. Thank you. I do want to try my hand at it. The issue is just the amount of time it takes to write and then edit, and then also there's the fact that I can't really stream anything whilst I'm making a video essay, because like what would I stream? I guess I can stream. This is the problem of I'm not enough of a variety streamer that people can just watch me play stuff and it'll do well. Like Ruina videos get hundreds. That's Ruina streams, sorry, get hundreds of viewers compared to niche stuff, which I enjoy doing, but gets like 12. And that is, I think, beginning to have an adverse effect because, like, the amount my videos are being recommended is trending down because it's been a while. But, God of War Ragnarok. I'm gonna say, let's see people changing the size of their window and using Shadow Jutsu to find out what to do where. Okay, so basically, what's happening there is they're changing the screen size, I believe, to change the amount that's actually, like, in render. Because then by doing something that... I think they're doing, like, Pyre, I think is what it's called. Because by changing the amount that is actually being rendered, there's a C counter which detects, like, when you see certain entities, if you'll excuse the pun. So what you do is, by rapidly changing your render distance and doing a circle, you check for what area has the highest C value, because bastions spawn with a far greater elevated number of piglins. So by doing that, it's not Pyre is something else, but by doing that, checking that C value as you spin around, you can find, okay, where's the highest amount? Because nothing else had time to spawn in. That's why they instantly pause upon getting into the nether. Then by doing that, you go, okay, so the rest of it's like 4, 4, 4, 5, 5, 23. And then you can check. That's why you'll see they'll do a sweep, then it spikes, then they'll keep going, and then like go back and check. And if it remains a high peak, they're like, okay, there's the bastion, go. And that's how you can check the bastion. And then there's different ways to get to the fortress. You can either detect where the fortress is, or you can do something called a technique called Glodar, I think is what it's called, which works if you have any bastion that isn't a treasure bastion. Because a treasure bastion has a spawner, but the way you loot a treasure bastion gets rid of the spawner, so that's a moot point. Basically what you do there is,
the actual sparkly points in a blaze spawner are entities. And by rapidly changing your entity distance, or like mob interaction distance, which I think is tied to your render distance, I'm not sure how you do it, but by flickering it in and out, you cause that entity to be rapidly duplicated, which then allows you to do the C-finding method again with the blaze spawner particles as your detection. And then that's how you can get to the fortress from the bastion. And then from there, they get out, they use... I believe the way you do it is it's something like 2,000 minus the... So the reason why they throw multiple pearls is because you can triangulate it. You do, okay, looking at that pearl there, what's the distance change? And by checking the minute details of the distance change, you can find out how far and in what direction you need to get to. Is this what it feels like to be hit with Infinite Void? Yeah, maybe. I would try Monster Hunter Challenge runs. Monster Hunter Challenge Run and Elden Ring. I'd like to try them both out, but like I haven't actually played any Souls games before. I would like to get around to them. I think Sekiro looks really cool, and I would definitely like to try Elden Ring, because, I mean, Elden Ring's a classic, but yeah. DMs? You see, what's this? So it's... so it's like that. Huh, I understand everything now. Doesn't get it at all. I love that meme. That's a great one. Yeah.
Just yet.
There are still 3 4s.
I really like speedrunning.
I would like to try it out.
With his realization left to complete.
Hold on.
Bina with...
Let's have... Now we go on to cut the Bina. The problem is, I would speedrun Ruina, but just... So the run that was sent to me. Let's go for speedrun.com. I'll quickly get it up in Ruina. The library Ruina. The speedrun that was sent to me specifically, which I believe is the full game. It's either the full game. It had a Pinocchio thing, so I'm assuming it would be full game, but otherwise Fox has told me to do this. But yeah, the full game run. The fastest runner to do it took them 6 hours. Roland's bad end took Fox's around 750. And then I don't think anybody does Angela's bad end, because to explain the difference between the two, it's because Angela's check for Angela's bad end actually occurs after Roland's bad end, which means this is effectively get to the end of the game, no realizations. Whereas this is true ending. So anyone who wants to do no realization will do this. Anyone who wants to do realizations will do all realizations, which leaves Angela's just incomplete. But yeah, this seems to be a nice run. It's not run very often, which you can see by the fact that it's a very long run. Have you ever played FEZ or Bavazu? No, I haven't. I would like to play Bavazu. I've played another word game, which is Lingo. I quite like Lingo. But, hello, Ian Rosette. Welcome back. The stream moderately crashed there for a second, so good to see you again. Let's get them on the side there. Hollow Knight? I've played Hollow Knight. I have the... Did I get the true ending? I don't know if I got... I think I got the true ending, but I never got Godhome. From memory, I know I got true ending of Silksong, because I got it out of spite, because I did not enjoy Silksong.
Bina with just her realization left, and
then let's Hokma. Yeah, it's just finding the right game, because it needs to be. Sadly, I don't have like I have at most probably like 5 hours to stream in. So like if I perfectly time it, I could do longer runs, but there is no way at the moment I could do Ruina runs. In the future, like actually in a few months, I move off to uni, so in a few months I could start doing like 8-hour speedruns, but for the moment, no chance. I feel like Hollow Knight / Silksong has been done to death. Yeah, I honestly haven't watched much Silksong content. I like watching Speedrun vs. Hunter or randomizers for Hollow Knight, but Ultra Kill New Game speedrun? How quick are Ultra Kill speedruns?
realization left, and Hokma with every abnormality he has and his final realization left to beat. Out of the 3 of these, just
I really don't like Silksong? Yeah, me either, to be honest. You're gonna have a background change? What do you mean? As in a background change to this? Maybe. I might change it. What I've been thinking about is, so sadly Kiwi is busy, which means I may actually commission someone else to make it, which would probably end up being somebody on, well, I would ask in the Project Moon content creator Discord. So the question is, I mean, it's whoever really takes the job, to be honest. But that, hopefully it will be cool. All depends on who would do it. Is Twitch dead? Yes, sadly Twitch is dead because it crashed. Basically trying to use the editing software and stream to both caused my computer to hard crash. So I had to cut one of the two, and I chose to cut Twitch. Another thing that is coming up, though, actually, that I'm looking forward to that's just totally unrelated, this is a LobCorp thing, is Zeol's been working on a poorly Google translated LobCorp mod. So, I'm looking forward to that. Said you were going to uni? Oh, yes. So, yes, this background? Yes, that will change. I have no idea what it'll change to. But it will, I've got my eyes set on a London uni. So, ideally, fingers crossed, I find out my results on, like, the 14th, 13th, 14th, something like that. So we'll see then. Like those Undertale mods? Yeah. Yeah. Basically what happens is you take it from one language, translate it through, like, 99 different languages, and then to English. Which, yeah. It results in some quite funny stuff. What have I been pinged with this time? Pinged in general. What was the VR Tarkov clone? Oh, I need to... I'll get back to them later. I do have a VR headset. I could do some VR games. Because, I mean, I have it, like, just right here. Here's my headset. I could do VR games. There's one particular game which I would be interested in trying out on stream, which is Hot Dogs, Horseshoes, and Hand Grenades. But the problem is, the one time I tried it, I fumbled so bad, because trying to reload whilst you're being shot at is terrifying. Go on speedrun? I could do that. Out of the three of these, Chaussette is definitely the realization we want to take out first, with Hokma taking us far longer to take out. Hokma taking us first. Let's move that here with Hokma. Oh, what did I do? Oh, Control V splits auto? Huh, interesting. Normally oh, that would make sense. B is what changes it to split, so it makes sense that Control B just gives you an auto split. Not that I'd ever use that because I don't want to split my audio track at the same time. With Hokma taking us far longer to take out due to having every fight left, and Bina and then let's have, I mean, I might actually delete that because I'll get back to that later. We need to do it from the start. And Bina is Bina. Bina is awful to do the real. Bina's realization is just awful in every timeline. There's not a single timeline where this is an enjoyable realization, I swear. Maybe I should fight it normally first. Can you beat the Library of Ruina normally? Who knows? Grunt on this speedrun, but do it as like a segmented run? Maybe. I think it would be interesting to do... What's the fewest number of times you could beat Ruina in?
We'll get back to Bina later. Like every other realization thus far, Chaussette's...
Let's go to Chaussette. This is not Chaussette. This is Chaussette. The Deltarune Gaster crackpot theories? I'm afraid I do theories. I'm not much of a Deltarune theorist, I'm afraid. Like, I have my own personal theories. Like, one of my personal theories that seems to go quite heavily against what, like, most people think when it comes to Deltarune is, I believe that Gaster's foreword of your actions have no consequences is the same as Flowey's kill or be
They
killed.
get made to be Clash-Lose hit.
That's my opinion. I believe the, oh, none of your choices have any impact is the same sort of thing as Flowey going, it's kill or be killed, in the sense that your actions are supposed to then either align with it or dispute it. But in my opinion, I believe the order that they're in has been changed. I believe that, so in Undertale, the way you disprove Flowey is by being a good guy. You do the full pacifist route, you know, all of that. True pacifist, you prove, no, it's not kill be killed. I believe the weird route is the way you prove Gaster wrong in Deltarune. I believe that it's different in the sense that the way to show you do have control requires you to be an awful person. And I think that quite a lot of it relies around the idea of Plato's Republic. Plato's Republic is a really interesting work. It has a lot of different stuff. It's one of the foundations of talking about democracy that we have, one of the first texts on that. And it's got a bunch of governance stuff. And one of the ideas is, I believe it's Plato asks one of his friends, would you build your perfect republic on the back of one crying child? And he goes, yeah, of course I would. And Plato tries to argue that for a perfect republic, for a utopia to exist, it must not sacrifice anyone. So I think it's a bit of an exploration of that, of by making Noelle the girl in the prophecy and making her strong enough to deal with the roaring, sure, we can survive, but in the end, do the ends justify the means? Do you know the other route? I haven't played Chapter 5 yet. I haven't seen anything about it. Do you mean Sword Route? Because I know people were theorizing that Sword Route is a different route, because you can do that without being on the weird route and it does something. But, I don't know if there's any more. I know a bunch of people talk about the eggs and how the eggs might influence things, but yeah. Oh yeah, because the way you do Sword Route is you get the Thorn Ring, then you abort the weird route, because then you can craft the Twisted Sword, right? And then people are trying to say that. Because the idea is that you can get the Twisted Sword, because if you use the Thorn Ring, you don't get it back. So the idea is that, yeah, you can then do that, get the Thorn Ring from Spampton, don't go ahead with it by sparing Birdly, then craft the Twisted Sword, I think, is the idea of the Sword Route, and then you can get the well, anybody can get the Mantle. I feel like the eggs are just going to get a secret item. I'm not sure. For me, one of the reasons why, because I was talking to somebody the other day, and they were saying that, oh no, all of the routes are just going to end in one ending, which I think that's wrong. And I think the reason why it's wrong is because, in my opinion, Deltarune is very much a game that is made for multiple playthroughs, which you can see by the fact that the weird route, the way you actually go about the weird route, is told to you in Chapter 3. If for a casual player, there is supposed to be a way to figure out how to do the weird route, which is in Chapter 3, but requires you to then go back to Chapter 2. And for me, I think that is proof that there can't only be one ending, because Toby wants people to go back and try out stuff like that. We're not finishing editing. This is a 2-hour-long thing. There is not a chance in hell we are finishing editing this stream. Like every other realization thus far, Shased's realization consists of every abnormality fight we've fought in his floor, as well as one new fight specific. I believe it's pushed by the fact that the game tries to push you that your choices don't matter. Yeah, the game tries to continually tell you that your choices don't matter, and if you go for a purely pacifist route, then yeah, your choices don't matter. But even then, they still do, kind of. Like, sure, if you go for there's not really any difference in Chapter 1 between going pacifist or not. However, you do get a difference in how people treat you. And I think that alone is enough evidence that, over time, gradually those changes will build up into massive change. And I think to be all, oh, but Gaster at the start of this game said, Yeah, and Flowey said at the start of the game that it's kill or be killed. What have we learnt about not taking Toby at face value when he gives us something? As flaw. As well as one new fight specific to the realization. These fights are against the Scarecrow. Scarecrow. Even an action is itself an action? Yeah. Yeah, that sort of thing. But yeah, I think it's a risky move to try and take anything he says at face value. So against the Scarecrows, because obviously there's some stuff, if he goes, there is nothing to theorize about here. That reminds me, I saw the world's most stupid thing. Recently, Steel Wool, they put out like a post. Haziel. They put out a post on like a spot the difference thing, and expressly said there is no theorization here, just 5 differences to spot. I don't want to let no sneak peek. This has nothing to do with our next game, and people were insistent that it had to have some deeper meaning for the lore. Just absolutely hilarious to see. It's taking a nap. Fair. Like, hold on, let me find it. Steel Wool, spot the difference. Yeah, this one. No secrets, no hidden clues, no teaser, no countdown, just 3 differences, probably. How fast can you spot them? It's this probably. This probably is what people lose their minds about. Because they're like, no, but why would they say probably if there wasn't a... And like, from memory, the differences are something like, there's a difference in like the way that's facing. One of these on the back is different, I think, when you zoom into the full image. Stuff like that. Minuscule stuff. The only thing that's remotely FNAF related, like this is just a normal Steel Wool's thing. The only thing that's slightly related is I believe the colors of these line up with the Glamrock animatronics. Like, this is Freddy, this is Monty, stuff like that. But it's like, the rush. There's like, if I go, Steel will spot the difference theory videos. There's so many of them. Like, just... Yeah. People are so desperate. People are so desperate for anything. They're like, but they said no secrets, which means there must be secrets. It's the Scarecrows, the Woodsman, the Road. I found that quite funny, and hearing about theorizing reminded me of that. Because I mean, I don't know. I'm a big fan of not saying that curtains are just blue. I think a lot of the time there's stuff to look into, or at least you can take things from stuff. The Woodsman, the Road Home. When somebody expressly tells you there is no deeper meaning to this, continuing to search for deeper meaning feels slightly strange to do. I'd never seen those rings before. I never knew that. Oh, what am I doing? Ozma and the adult who tells lies. Yeah, over here. I have Omnibrace. It can just keep doing this shit for. It's nice to have music in the background, honestly, because normally I don't have music in the background whilst editing. I just, like, sort of have complete and total silence. Also, don't really have anyone to talk to usually. But this is, honestly, this is a good way to do it, because it means I can yap about stuff without having to worry about, like, listening over people. Who tells lies. Yeah. Most of these, specifically the Scarecrows and the Woodsman, are entirely inconsequential.
But the other phases do have interesting things I want to talk about. Firstly, in the road homes.
Okay. This is the point where I started looking at the code of stuff, so you'll see some funny, like, the fact that this is just a lie, the passive that the cat has of, takes no damage.
Doesn't matter if I don't.
They're lying. They set their resistances to takes no damage, but that's not everything.
The way I started.
If they were actually immune to damage, they should use the protocol is immune
so
damage, which would
rolls
cover status effects. But they don't, because the program doesn't care about, like, what would usually be one bleed, because who would be running enough status infliction on this stage to really care? This might be the reason why you're mad. Maybe. Maybe. Yeah.
Firstly, in the road homes phase, there is one passive here. Courageous. This is...
Okay, let's get courageous. Different databases are godsend. Just to be able to look up any passive. Obviously, I think courageous is lying. I think it's one of those passives that... Oh, no, this is telling the truth. So what we're looking for is... Here, get HP resist. So you can see here, whenever it gets attacked, it goes, okay, does the cat have coward? No, the cat doesn't have coward, because if it did, it would return attack resist weak, so then it returns attack resist immune. However, because it doesn't have is immune damage, it isn't immune to status effects. Because that is a very specific thing you need to give a boss, otherwise it just doesn't do anything. So yeah, my favorite lie is immune to damage. At least that's a positive lie compared to, like, Justice Bird or the fight with Hokma, where they just flat out don't tell you important bits of information. Like the fact that, you know, like Hokma's main enemy just has an immunity to all status damage because, yeah, sure, why not? That totally wouldn't screw anyone over. If it wasn't for the fact that he has 2 entire ways to deal true damage, it might have actually been an issue.
Here. Courageous. This is supposed to make the scaredy cat immune to all forms of damage, but yeah, no. Checking the code...
No, I'm gonna checking the code here. Balatra's music's great. Balatra is such a good game. You know what? Okay, this is... I need to explain the line of logic there. I was thinking Balatro, and then I thought, there's a YouTuber I quite like, Feinberg. He competes in a lot of random... Like, he was in a lot of Balatro tournaments.
Yeah, no.
For some reason.
Checking the code...
He's a Minecraft speedrunner as well. I would really like to be in a Minecraft event. I think those would be cool.
Checking the code, we can see that this only works for normal damage types. You know, the non-mental illness direct damage stuff that people normally throw at these sorts of problems. This is an entirely pointless remark to make. We focus down Roland before...
This is an entirely pointless remark to make. We focus down Roland. I'd like to have the footage of us focusing down Roland here then. Like the point at which he dies. But yeah, like all those block wall stuff, that'd be really cool. I'd like to be big enough to eventually get invited to one of those. I think that'd be fun.
Times that I
have no idea if I'd be any good at them, but you know, I think I could learn. Honestly, part of me wants to try and convince the Project Moon YouTubers to run one.
Oh no, we might just be about to kill them with erosion. Oh no, never mind.
Hello, Tippy. Hello.
Cinema. 21
Don't mind me, yeah. That's not a sort of Minecraft training arc. Could do. If I became like a Minecraft speedrunner, then I would have to get an invite, you know? That's like how that works, of course. Very important question. Do you have Sneaky Snitch? No, I do not. There is no Sneaky Snitch in the video.
Problems. This is an entirely...
Let me have this here, so there's actually enough time for people to see it.
Problems. This is an entirely pointless remark to make. We focus down Roland before... This is an entirely pointless remark to make. We focused down Roland before even paying attention to the cat, but yeah, just wanted to point out how this passive lies. Don't worry, it's in no way the only one. Secondly, there's actually a cheese you can use for Osmond's fight. By having the purple tier be the one to take the transformation, you can just switch to another stance and get back to your proper pages. For more restrictive challenges, or if you really don't want to leave anything to chance, you can use this to give Osmond's ads awful cards whilst you have incredible ones. This isn't what we ended up doing. With Chaussette rolling so high, there was effectively no point in caring who was going to need to use the bad pages this phase gives you. Now, finally, there's actually...
Okay, and then I fuck up this trick here, so I can't even talk about it. It's, you know, it's the one where, oh, if you get Rake, then you can insta-kill the adult who tells lies. I honestly don't know who would need that. I don't think this final phase is too hard, but it's a funny trick you can do. Hide Sneaky Snitch for the entire, like, put it at minus 100 decibels. Oh, that reminds me. Well, I mean, I don't know what reminded me, but
now,
so I was watching a Batman cartoon.
Finally,
right?
There's actually a really funny strategy.
And there was this voice actor for a policeman. And I was like, I can swear I know who that guy is. Like, the voices, the voices I hear, no. I was like, I could have sworn. And it was a particular phrase, and it made me realize, I was like, oh god, that's the voice actor for Jake in Adventure Time. And lo and behold, it was Jake's voice actor. It's like, I don't know what cartoon it is, but like, yeah. Just, and then I couldn't stop hearing him as Jake for the rest of the time. Just, like, I can't believe you're actually doing an editing stream. Why can't you believe it? It's working, like, terrifyingly well. There are more viewers on this stream than any of my previous streams have gotten for it lasted a while. Like, I think the LobCorp multiplayer one was the last one to get this many views.
You can use in the last phase of the realization. Chaussette's floor has an abnormality page called Rake.
You can tell I pronounce the K here.
Page called Rake.
The amount of, it's so much effort that you can see the spike here. You can see the spike where I purposefully made sure to pronounce the K.
Chaussette's floor has an abnormality page called...
Not getting clipped saying that. I have no pages, just said... Oh, by the way, this is what I'm doing on the other screen. I'm just reaching through here. Rake. There we are. Fun fact, by the way, the reason why it doesn't work against enemies who use Shimmering isn't actually like something that's coded into this card. It's because enemies who have Shimmering don't have a hand. They literally... So, Shimmering isn't Shimmering. Shimmering is the entire boss AI. Most passives don't actually contain anything. So, what happens is... those enemies just play the cards as soon as they need to, so you couldn't copy them with Rake if the game wanted you to, because they don't have them there in the first place, which is the reason why it stipulates no effect against characters with Shimmering, because it doesn't have any effect against characters with Shimmering. It just doesn't at all. Because it can't. The way it's coded, it physically couldn't.
Page called Rake, with the simple ability of giving you 2 pages owned by an enemy after staggering them, for 2 less cost than they would be otherwise. This doesn't work against characters with Shimmering, making it basically entirely useless against anyone you care to use it against, but it does have one major use here. The copied card...
Okay, let's have that fade off here. Does Heartburn?
One major use here.
No, Heartburn would be a status effect.
All information on the card they're copying. So, as a hypothetical, what do you think happens when you use Rake against an enemy that only has cards with insta-kill passives on them? Well, you get the insta-kills, of course. I messed this up on my actual run during this challenge, but if for whatever reason you're really struggling with the final section of this realization, here you are. Simply pick up Rake, stagger one of the skulls and steal their insta-kill page. Then use it against Roland and the fight will end instantaneously. After
methods from other classes? What do you mean? half joke when it's just you an editing stream. Well, here I am. It's, I mean, I can show you shimmering. Because it's interesting to see. Because if we go for, like, stages, Purple Tear has shimmering. You can see shimmering contains the entire boss AI. Here's where her stances are called. I believe there's the card. Private int, add new card. Temp card. This is where they add the cards. They add them to be used. They don't add any to hand. Stuff like this. Set card / add new card, and then these are the cards that he used. This is literally our entire code. Here's it removes Shased and Hokma. Instead, Hokma on the current floor cannot be teleported to, which is hard-coded into her. For some reason, I don't understand why Shased, Hokma, and I understand the current floor, but Shased and Hokma just physically can't be teleported to. They're hard-coded not to. But to show it off, you can see shimmering. Only the Purple Tear has this shimmering. That's due to an interesting fact called every shimmering is unique. This is every boss shimmering in the game. Some cost 6, some cost 1, some cost 9, etc, 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 etc. Because every single one of them, see, this is Esther's shimmering, and you'll see Esther's shimmering has the entire thing. Now, you want to see something worse, or something weirder, I should say? Let's look at Grace the Prescript. Oh, no, we want to look at one that... Let's look at an Abno thing, because in Abno specifically don't have anything else getting in the way. Otherwise, it might be checking the copy of the status which does something. Let's look... Man of Smiling Bodies. Oh, no. I know for a fact Judgment Bird does this. So, you'll see Unjust Scale. So, Unjust Scale says, starting with Sin 1, all characters including Judgment gain 1 sin. Sin can be transferred. Here is Judgment Bird's entire AI. Let's check Ceaseless Judgment. That's strange. Let's check the way to sin. Okay. Well, what about Overflowing Misdeeds? Every other passive lies to you. This does nothing, this does nothing, this does nothing, this does nothing. This is what does everything. Because this is their entire code. If you want another example, let's try Warm-Hearted Woodsman. Dense Forest. Dense Forest. I don't know why I did that twice. Look, a lot of stuff for Dense Forest. Surely it doesn't take 229 lines of code to just restore all librarians to max light. However, let's check empty chest. That's strange. Oh, let's check Pulsing Ticker.
In a shithole added $2.48
oh, what
to
the
the
fuck?
lunacy
What's that
fund.
actually have stuff?
Add a part that's just Matrix Winnie the Pooh.
I won't be doing that to the video, but thank you for the donation. But like, I want a heart as a different example. This will have nothing in it. What the fuck? Why does... Huh? Excuse me? Why does Empty Chest have nothing but... Okay, this is weirder. This isn't how this is supposed to go. Excuse me? That was meant to be a point about how they don't do that. Because, like, you can see here, this has everything, but if I then go to time accumulating... Excuse me? Okay, this game is coded weirdly. These things aren't supposed to have stuff. Huh? I am incredibly confused. Because, like, this has stuff. But I don't think this does. Yeah, see? What? I don't get it. Some of them... Okay, sometimes they just do shit. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Hello, Inquisitor. Anyway, what I was trying to get was Rake. I think I got Rake. What I was then looking for is the... Do I need to... Like...
After sadly having to take her out the normal way instead thanks to messing up the tech, it was time
Okay.
to move on.
This is the point where I need to get the... Actually having finished the fight after I screwed up, but yeah. Ruina's code at its finest, indeed. I think this is the place. Yeah, this is where it comes.
It's for some reason... Or, like...
This is the point where I missed it was on use, by the way. So I got really terrified that I wouldn't be faster.
How do I play this? Like, hold on.
Me when I forget the on use plays on use.
Oh.
That oh.
Oh. That's not on play! That's not how play works! That's an on use!
But it's an instant on use card.
Oh, wait, no, it had the sign. I'm an idiot.
Yep, you're an idiot. Well, we get that sorted out. Thank you, me. All Coop's challenge run summaries of video essays? Indeed they are. Judging by the fact that this is going to be about 2 hours long. This starts at 1, by the way, so it's not as absurd as it seems, but it will end up being about 2 hours long. Which will make it the longest video I think I've actually edited. Because otherwise it would be like a... I think the ending summary of the solo challenge was 1.5 hours, but it was just with 2 other really long videos. New Millie song? I don't think I've listened to it.
Instantaneously. After sadly having to take her out the normal way instead thanks to messing up the tech, it was time to move on. Bina's
Bina's realization. Yippee! We should probably change the music. It's probably getting a bit stale. Let's see, what music could we switch to? I actually really like the song that I got for the start of the thing now. That would be... where is it? Is it not here? Might be... Did I forget to move it over? Oh, I forgot to move it over. Damn. It's not in my music file. I'll just keep this one.
Plus, Ruina.
This vid does have parts. It has chapters. What about I Love It? I Love It's a good song. I could switch to that. But I'm going to keep this on for a little bit.
to move on. Bina's realization, as always, is a nightmare for us to deal with. The first phase needs us to quickly take out 4 ads before targeting Roland, which should be setting off alarm bells if you paid any attention to this video so far. The second phase...
That's the most awkward part of it, because it has a weird loop.
Yeah,
because this is different. It goes up, but it's, like, it has a bit where it loops perfectly from before, so it feels like it's a really short song and makes it kind of awkward. You should make a video of this stream. Unfortunately, I did not record it. Which is good because OBS probably would have... Oh, I have been recording apparently. Could make a video of this stream. What would I... No, I'm gonna stop recording even. No, I'm not making a video off of this. I'm not getting sidetracked by making a video off of my video. Wow, that's 100% more video per video. No, this is a stream only.
Far. The second phase is... Okay, well, the second phase is the same as always. It's a basic numeracy check. But the third and fourth? Well, they're in an entire league of their own. The fourth and...
There we are. It feels real, like just in the background.
It's nice to have a more peaceful stream. Because usually, I mean, especially recently, things have been quite chock full of stuff. Because people really like stream because you're a cool guy and like to chat with you. Ah, nice, thank you. So I like to see an out of context video using other streams. You had the clip potential is insane. That is bacon. I would really like to have somebody who knew how to make shorts. Because I get the feeling these streams are like an absolute gold mine, but I don't watch short form content.
The fourth and final phase requires us to stagger roll 3 times over.
So yeah, I have no idea how to do that. But I do have, there's a clip that I will in fact be turning into a short, or at least like it's a clip of something that I was planning on turning into a short, which is if I quickly grab how do you check what's been made into clips? Ah, here we are. This is the clip in question. Can I would like to see it. I'm allowed to check the clip. This is FNAF level fresh. Here we are. This is the thing that I will be making into a, but this. I don't know. Nah. Can I clone it? I don't have to kill myself! I don't have to kill myself! Yes! That will be me being made into a short. I don't have to kill myself! It's the Eastside Club, yeah. Concert streams are like 3 hours long, yeah.
Forms. One with a permanent power null active, another which randomizes the costs of all of our pages, and one final one which makes Roland immune to all status damage. I'm sure you can see why that last one is a major issue for us, given that without our statuses, the only way we can deal any kind of stagger damage will rely entirely on passives or the various true damage on cards. However, there's a way we can deal with that I'll get back to later. You might have noticed the rather conspicuous absence of Phase 3, and that's for good reason, as it is arguably the worst phase of this realization, needing a specialized plan.
Oh, wait.
As it is.
I probably want. You might have noticed. Yeah. Okay. Let's have that here then. That phase takes so long. With no direct editing skills. I'd like to think I have a few direct editing skills. I'm not using any proxy media, so it wouldn't even be an indirect editing stream. Ah, fuck, I clicked V. Clicking V takes you to the start of a clip, in case anybody's curious why that's a problem. I meant to click B, because B allows you to start
that I like to
cutting
follow.
things.
Be that I think that interpretation of this kind of thing. Yeah, no,
Let's wait until after Beam is done clashing.
if that kills Bean.
Should put the Bean on? Ah, good idea. Where did the Beaner go? They should be here. I didn't turn them off. I think what happened was when my OBS had an absolute fit after it crashed, it just didn't put it back. I just realized I never turned Caffeinator back on, did I? I don't think seeing chat is also necessary. It's not going to be a video. I've made good progress, honestly. 10 minutes. 10 minutes is pretty good progress for, well, like a 2-hour-long stream, roughly, kind of. Back to it later. You might have noticed the rather conspicuous absence of Phase 3, and that's for good reason, as it is arguably the worst phase of this realization, needing a specialized plan to even remotely stand a chance at taking out. The reason for this is simple. Another one of Project Moon's passives is lying to us, specifically tattered bandages. Specifically, this is one that's lying, but tattered bandages takes no damage from bleed, burn, or fairy is what it's called. I'm sure you've guessed by now that's not true. I can show off here. Takes no damage from bleed, burn, or fairy. That's not true. It uses is immune damage. If the type of damage is a buff, so like is it a thing? Is immune damage return true to all statuses. Is immune damage of type of keyword. So it takes no damage to any statuses. Specifically. That's why it's problematic. I should have kept that open. I need to take a screenshot of that code, but you know what? It takes half a second to look up. Super hype right now. Nice. What are you hype about? Specifically, tattered bandage. Oh. Tattered bandages. On the surface of things, all it's supposed to do is make them immune to bleed, burn, and fairy, but this isn't actually the case. Project Moon coded this passive with their stock ism. Okay, let's have that move over here then, which will then allow me to open up the code. Yippee! I love going into the code and looking at the horrors that Project Moon has done. To find out this thing, by the way, I had to actually, like, because the way these work is the core enemy then summons a later enemy, and that goes on and on. So to actually find the passives of stuff, it's a little bit harder. And then you've got the problem that sometimes the game could just be lying to you. Like, there are some passives for this fight that are empty. There's some damage. As far as PC can use both gaming and game design. Nice. Do you have any ideas for games you want to make at the moment? Hope you understand when I say that modding is for the insane. Oh no, I get it perfectly, trust me. I do not want to mod this game. Okay, I feel like that would be a fast way to go into a mental asylum, and I don't have that much sanity left to lose. Project Moon coded this passive with their stock is immune damage code, which doesn't just take out bleed, burn, and fairy, but all statuses. Obviously this wouldn't be default. Obviously this wouldn't sharpen testing because the likelihood that someone is running a status build as their main form of damage is almost non-existent. I like the fact that past me assumes there was any quality assurance going on here. A status build as their main form of damage is almost non-existent. The likelihood that someone is running a status build sharpen testing. Yeah, sharpen testing. Ruina did not get testing. The likelihood that someone is running a status
No
build
shot
as their
Ruina
main
got
form of
testing. There are so many bugs
almost
that would be
non-existent.
detected if anybody actually played this
Unfortunately
game.
for us, that non-existent chance is our existence, majorly making our lives harder for Phase 3. But hey, at least this phase doesn't have the strictest anti-soul of any phase in the realizer, and yeah, no. You can probably tell by my tone, but that's an utter lie. This phase has a status called Sin, which is applied to everyone every turn and needs to be kept below a certain amount to avoid instant death.
Nice
If
that
the stat
it's being
reaches
shown
5 or more,
Roland will use a melee page against that librarian, which insta-kills the target if they have 5 or more sin. And if 3 or more
I actually
targets have
wrote
3
this
or
while standing in an sitting in an optometrist's lobby.
then Roland uses a mass
Random
attack and
facts?
kills everyone who has
I just
3
remember
or
because I
more
was writing
sin.
on my phone.
Being insta-killed, as you can probably imagine, isn't particularly good for our health. So how are we actually supposed to manage it? Well, simply by hitting ourselves over and over again. Sin is transferred to whoever you hit when using.
Let's get a shot of Sin actually being transferred there. Have ram anymore because if I write that they get a defensive dice. Okay, you need 10 more subs to reach 9k, really? Huh. Be handy if I could get 10 more subs. Let's see, what's my... Oh, I am, hold on. What am I at? I'm at... No, actually! I need 3 more subscribers! 3 more subscribers to reach 9k. Well, you ignore the fact that I'm making no money. Don't worry, last month was not a good month. Biggest monitor I've seen with a laptop? Oh, no. Well, I mean, you can use a monitor with a laptop. It'd still be pretty useful. Nice game on, but I need to get the skill level to make it. That, yeah, that's very fair. The editing stream will be the 9k.
Oh yeah, you want to get rid of...
I doubt anyone is going.
least
I
for
doubt
Stagger.
3 whole people are going to be subscribing off of this. Other than that. Oh. Why did that highlight both of them? Shouldn't have. He's not here. What's that? Oh. Over and over again. Sin is transferred to whoever you hit when using any non-mass attack page, meaning if 3 of our 5 librarians hit the other non-venal librarian, we can keep the 3+ passive from activating, whilst redirecting the 5+ passive with our other librarians. To facilitate this, one of our librarians will have to be specially designed to tank, something I chose Maxim's page for thanks to its incredible number of reductions to damage. Now with our survival assured, albeit at the cost of one librarian's entire damage output, there's another issue we need to take care of. How are we actually going to deal damage? With statuses entirely off the table, we need to return to our playbook from Zhao and Alarin. What options do we have that we can turn to deal true damage without? But we need to return to our... How are we actually going to deal damage? That's a loop. What options do we have that we can turn to? Well, not particularly much. None have been as abnormality page. With statuses entirely off the table, we need to return to our Alarin. What options do we have that we... How are we actually going... There's a... With statuses entirely off the table, what options do we have that we can... There's another issue we need to take care of. How are we actually going to deal damage? What options do we have that we can turn to deal true damage? How are we... I'll put it here. This happens sometimes, and then you need to go along and highlight your entire timeline. Oh. So that way you can move it closer. Please tell me that's still selecting everything. Yeah, great. Another issue we need to take care of. What options do we have that we need to take care of? What options do we have that we can turn to deal true damage without statuses? Well, not particularly much. None have been as abnormality pages actually deal true damage, which leaves us with pages and passives that are our only possible methods. Pages are... well, if we try and dedicate any of our pages... Famous game using the story IP of one parahumans, one of your games that I can add expansions on over time. Ah, nice. Strategy, we are not going to be able to get past the DPS check of the first and last phases. We'll consider Terraria speedrun. Just got not before, but it would be interesting to do. Ladies, gentlemen, and everything in between, it's time to start gambling again. Did I ever show off the warp passives? I think I did. If I didn't, I'm sure I'll get told by my members in the next radio. Hold on, where would they be? Why did I fight Alarin? Hold on. But you're just using a bunch of custom moves. So I thought someone recorded for 11 minutes, so 7 people were watching. That's impressive. Where is... Okay, so... Alaroon, hold on, right before chapter 3. I think this is chapter 3? Yeah. And I actually turned down a sponsorship of quality of these when the rest of the index, and it's the simple fact on the last time it's safe. The music here is annoying. The bonus hit. This bonus damage is actually true damage. Oh, here we are. Okay, so I didn't include it. Rune actually has a really interesting W Corp has a few special passives that, at a random chance, deal bonus damage on hit. This bonus damage is actually so heavily up until now. This means that with statuses directly, there's only one problem with the strategy that stops it from being absolutely incredible. The random chance is 10% for what becomes absolutely incredible. The random chance, and let's have it solidify here. Tiff database. Passives 10%. Quantum leap and dimensional sections. Seems people are beginning to leave, which is presumably because I've stopped talking about things in specific. I'm not sure. Seems like everyone's beginning to not calm down a bit, but like this stream is sort of naturally coming to a close. The chance is 10% for what becomes on average 1 damage per hit. This is, well, calling it a good amount of damage would be incredibly off the mark, but damage is still damage, and so with its help, we can move past Alaroon and unlock Star of the City. Probably. Damage is still damage, and so with its help, we can move past Alaroon and unlock Star of the City. Before we get started with Star of the City though, I'd like to take a quick moment to ask you to consider subscribing. Yeah, there's a subscriber show. The only reasonable passive, it's time to start gambling again. The only reasonable passive to deal damage here is dimensional sections on every W Corp page, or quantum. Okay. We want to have these guys show up again. Gambling again. The only. So it's 0.98. Was it set to 9.8 or 9.7? Not sure. Reasonable passive to deal damage here is dimensional sections on every W Corp page, or Quantum Leap, which comes specifically from Rose's key page. Dimensional sections deals 10 true damage at a 10% chance on hit, whilst Quantum Leap does 13 at a 10% chance if the speed die using the card has a speed of 4 or higher. This means that, on average, we deal 1 damage a hit, or 2.3 a hit for the Librarian using both passives. I'm gonna fade it out here. If their dice are always at 4 speed or higher. That's fine though, right? How much HP could they possibly have? 300 HP. Yes, they have 300 HP. And we need to kill them at an average of 1 damage per hit. After factoring in that Bina needs passives to make her viable and so can't fit any of these gambling passives, whilst Maxim can't fit them due to needing as many tanking passives as possible, we have 3 remaining Librarians worth of damage. The setup we'll be using means that we have 5 offensive dice each turn directed at Roland, for a grand total of 21.5 damage per scene, assuming our Rose Librarian rolls 3 4s or higher. So I've kind of run out of time actually, I might call it here. Thank you all for coming. I hope you did enjoy the random impromptu editing stream. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye for now.